go.
Hey, hey, what up, hey? Hey. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Chat. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the GMAE show, where if you click the link in the chat that's happening right now, it's a forums.gle link starting with TFOOTCN, TFootCN. That link is your chance to win a Wizzy Team NFT right here on this show right now. That's right. We're kicking it off, having fun today, ladies and gentlemen, because we have 350,000 sand worth of rewards for the community available in events and contests that are running right now, not even counting the game jam competitions, not counting the VoxEdit contests. Chat, got a lot of stuff going on and a lot to talk about here today. Before we get into playing the events that are happening right now to show you what's up there. First, posted on twitter.com some 23 or so hours ago by @the_Sandbox Game, then retweeted by Habbo NFT. Come socialize in the metaverse with @Habbo NFT. The iconic Habbo Hotel and its receptionist Frank are opening a brand new resort in the Sandbox Metaverse. Help Frank take care of the hotel and socialize with their guests. Habbo. Conrad, do you remember Habbo? Did you play a little Habbo back in the day?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
It feels like one of those things where like
a little surreal here.
Yeah. Like we've seen a lot of IPs that I'm very familiar with, but this is sort of a game or I guess a social space that I kind of grew up on a little bit. Like I didn't actively play Habbo as much as just like passively when somebody that I knew was like, hey, I'm doing Habbo, you want to go check it out? And I'd be like, come in, and I'd be like, okay, well, like it's a nice little AOL chat room or whatever it was for me, at least when I was in those experiences. But it's nice to see Habbo making its way into the sandbox that is already a pretty highly socialized space. So I think those two things are going to work out really well. And I like the iteration of Frank here in the hotel. It's going to be great to see them inside the metaverse. But right. That is one of
just makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of many different things that we can talk about here today. Another @JungleFreaks NFT are now playable inside the Sandbox Metaverse. If you already have a Jungle Freaks, they have been given an interoperability for you in this space. Go check it out. Next, do you own an @Ren's original NFT? You can now bridge and get your very own metaverse-ready playable avatar. Go check it out. Bridge available December 21st. That is today. Today is December 21st, 2022. I didn't even say. It's 9:10 a.m. my local time. Conrad.
Oh my goodness. Joe, restart the show.
Just start it over. Good morning. Good morning to Backspace at 1 a.m. over there in the Asia Pacific region. Good morning to those of you joining us. Good evening for you in India, in Russia, Africa, Europe. Good afternoon to those of you joining us in South America. Good afternoon in New York. Good morning to each and every one of you west of the Eastern time zone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the only news we got. I'm super
We had 2 sick days and we're coming back.
Going crazy, man.
Get back in the rhythm.
Going crazy out here, man. It's been a rough one this holiday-ish time, man. There's a lot going around. My wife, bro, we've been like just passing back and forth stuff. That's been really fun. Like yesterday, she was like, were these your symptoms like 2 days ago? And I'm like, yep. And she's like, okay, that makes sense. Anyway.
I just had that conversation with Holly last night.
Final figures for the California Dreamin', the Galleria, and K-Verse land sales. There were 1,331 lands sold. Of those lands sold, 600 of those were first-time buyers. There was 1.8 million sand received via the map, 1.25 million sand received via auctions. Huge thanks to all those who entered raffles and bid on auctions. More to come in 2023. As a reminder for you, if you are relatively new to the Sandbox game, or you've never read the OG white paper that we released way back in the day, the sand that is received during a land sale is locked on a schedule. So it is not immediately used, spent, or reinvested in the system, but is also locked in different ways. Some of that goes to building more experiences in the Game Maker's Fund. Some of that goes to internal use for funding the servers, the company, etc. But all of it gets locked up in a schedule for release at a later date, so that sand is not immediately turned over and spent or used or what have you. We've been doing this for a very long time, so some of the sand that you guys got, 6 months ago or so, when we did a different land sale, might be released now into a Game Maker's Fund or into an artist fund or something like that. So if you are a new, young creator in the space, or you're a veteran creator who's been trying to get something in the program, feel free, of course, to at any time submit your project or idea to the Game Maker's Fund for your chance to kind of get into the next level of the Sandbox game as we continue to open and expand, get bigger and better every single day. Next piece, get ready for Voxies December 22nd. Bring your Voxies NFT to life in the Sandbox. So go check these out. You can see there's a ton of new avatars that are coming into the Sandbox game and a whole bunch of different aesthetics. So it's going to be fun and exciting to see how this kind of plays out as you get to be more exactly what you want to be in a Sandbox game. We've had a lot of cool stuff. We've had a lot of cute stuff. We've had a lot of fun stuff pop into the avatar space. We've had interoperability for projects that you may have already purchased. Now we're seeing some more organic stuff while also seeing those different things. And it's going to be, it's just going to be wild to see, because I feel like almost nobody's going to come in there as like a regular default avatar human thing walking in,
An average Joe, if you will.
Hey, well, first of all, chat, average Joe. Wow. This guy, chat. I can't believe. Are you prepared? Monstrosities avatars are coming December 22nd as well. So we got that coming down the pipeline. Then more ducks are landing in the metaverse. Welcome to Cosmic Labs NFT duck avatars. 3,000 unique and handcrafted with over 70 different traits will be playable inside the Sandbox. Bridge them now. Sandbox.game/avatars. If you want to be a duck, you want to be a duck hunting ducks, in our space, because we got a lot of hidden ducks. If you don't know, the ducks are an internal dev fun secret to some of the OG devs in the Sandbox game, people who got accepted to the Game Maker's Fund really early, or were already on staff building experiences. They used to joke about this and hide ducks inside the map, the little rubber duckies that you could purchase on the website way back. They would just hide them in a place, and you see some, they were actually in the Oracle space just there. At the top of the Oracle space, there's a duck sitting in one of the highest spaces in the Sandbox game. So they like to hide them all over the place and have fun with that. Be a duck, hunt a duck. I like that. I think that's cool. Then, this is a pretty huge announcement right here. Welcome to Little Big Island, a little island with a big secret, starring Puss in Boots, who is on a mission to recover his iconic hat. Explore and uncover the mysteries of this enigmatic enclave created by @_MV Studios from December 21st to January 11th. This is part of the Sandbox game contest page. Open there. Then the Sandbox NFTs, representing the Sandbox Marketplace, signing off 2022 in style with some jaw-dropping assets from the Sandbox Creator Fund. Get yours now. This is the last collection available in 2022. If you click on the link here, you can open it up. You can see there's a whole bunch of different assets that are available here in the Creator Fund. You can check them out if you're interested.
Iconic.
Lots of cool different, from space things to sort of humanoid spacey to surfer peoples, fish samurai, crazy stuff in here. Nice animation, really cool stuff. If you don't know, these things take a lot of time to design. They're very fun to make inside the VoxEdit asset creation software. I tried to make something, I think it was last Wednesday, something like that, in VoxEdit live for you guys. I spent 3 hours making a cyborg Krampus snowman, as was requested here in the chat. And I only really got just the modeling portion done without any of the texturing, refinement, animation, anything like that. So you could see as somebody who is, I would say, an amateur, even if I understand the tool, I don't design in the tool very often. The amount of work and the value, in terms of like artistic skill that these people are putting into these designs here, it's very fun and interesting to see how that is going there. But you got the last assets for 2022 in the space right now. If you want to see them, go check it out inside the marketplace, sandbox.game. Then, yeah, Dino Warriors collectible holders, check your wallets. The nice people of at the Sandbox Game left you a little present instead of a claim link. If you already own a Dino Warriors, you got an airdrop from the Sandbox Game. And they look pretty slick. Like, I'm actually jealous. This I would use. This I would use 100%. Like in my gameplay, I would want to be this. So this is what's up. A question comes in here live in the chat before we read this last piece here. TMO Photo on youtube.com says, how do people get gems and catalysts for building all of these right now? So the assets that you see inside the marketplace are pre-approved assets, usually from the Game Makers Fund artists. So that's why I talked about that. If you want to apply for that, feel free to do so. And those go through a sort of curation process, right? So sometimes it'll be you can make whatever you want. Sometimes all of the artists in the Game Makers Fund are tasked with making something pirate themed, or they're tasked with making something robot themed, or whatever the thing may be, right? And there's a sort of a plan going forward and out there. And then once those things are made, then it is selecting a few of those and saying, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this, from the lead artists on the team, or from the marketing departments, or different groups. Maybe Seb himself just says, hey, I really like this, 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 this. And then those things get the gems and catalysts directly from the lead artists on the team. And those gems and catalysts now are sort of getting archived a little bit for various reasons. I can't discuss per se, but those old school, you may see, and I could be wrong about this, but you may see a little bit of a slowdown in the near future in new stuff that's coming out to the marketplace. And again, I could be wrong about this, but we're seeing some potential changes to the way that those gems and catalysts are made. So we'll see how that works going forward. But for now, really cool stuff that we've got in there. And as NFTs, they're non-fungible and you can't modify them. So it's going to be fun to see the future of gems, catalysts, the marketplace, and all the options that are available to you in that space. But yeah, always curated in those spaces, and always limited in that way. But they're going to be changing a little bit as we get closer to the general consumer being able to mint. But no certain details at this time. I'm just hearing really cool stuff, and I'd love to talk about it, but I know that I can't. At the Smurf Society are embarking on an epic adventure to decentralize the Smurfs, and they need your help. Stay tuned for more details on the exclusive access and rewards for the Sandbox community. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got, as I mentioned at the top of the show, 350,000 total sand rewards for events that are currently going on, not counting the NFT events that are currently going on inside the Sandbox Game season section. So if you're on the website, sandbox.game, when you click play in the top left, you would see the same things that I'm seeing here. Got the AFA Village, got Season's Greetings Social Challenge #1. You've got the Forbes Care Bears Little Big Island, the one that just came out today, a special NFT reward, mystery box, Avatar and Land Pass, Season's Greetings, special event, all of these different events, different qualifications to do so. But we're going to play some of these. We've also got different events that are listed as coming soon. New Year's event, Lunar New Year's event, Season's Greetings, Social Challenge 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of stuff queued up here during this season. But so having a good time.
We do have a couple questions and comments from their chat here.
All right, let's hit those questions first.
So Sparky Snickle and CCNC and Hodel Hill all want to know if there's a way to see if you can see all of your completed quests a specific map. Oh, I can talk, I swear. I do it for a living. Now, is there anything in the works to make it to where we know all of these 180 quests are getting done?
I can take some input there because I know that the quests exist. Let me see here. So I'm going to try to get that integrated into the play map, because as it was when you had like a high scores list, you were able to check before. So presumably a function like that could be possible again. But ideally, I would say we would turn off the times so that people don't ask, oh, do I need to get this done in a certain amount of time, and start grinding it again.
Right.
Because I think, yeah, still between seasons, right? That's not very important.
And
okay.
Joe, there is a robot in the World of Women experience that is immortal. Do we have any comments on that one?
I haven't checked it out yet, but we'll see.
Let's go ahead and try and find it right off the bat here. What do you say?
All right. So what do we got? Where's the World of Women experience? Is it listed as a quest? AFA Village, CFDA, Season's Greetings. We've got the
And Online SR, hopefully I said your name right, asks if Sandbox is ever coming to mobile.
Yes. Simple answer. Simple question, I think. It's a matter of time, mostly. But yes, absolutely. Sandbox came from mobile, so we are going to go back to mobile soon. All right, what do we got here?
Season Mr. Selective points out that in the Lululand experience, shout out to Lululand, love you guys, there is a total 25 quests, but only 19 is available. The other 6 not appear in the map to complete them. It might be something that is locked for another day, though it may be just a UI bug there.
All right, we got a lot of
wrong button.
We got a lot of Christmas. We got AFA Village. We got Fashion Long. We got the Forbes. We got the Little Big Island experience. Aoki, Cooniverse, Walking Dead. All right, so I want to make sure World of Women Tower was one that's part of this. So part of this earn. So let's see if we can play.
Thank you so much, chat, for informing us of all of these things and keeping us updated as we try and keep you guys updated.
We'll take a look at the Lululand experience here. Oh, look at me. I got to get a new version, too. Wow. Joe, what are you doing, bro? Joe should have downloaded this before he went live. Let me tell you that.
Joe prepared for this show. That's why.
I have a super speed internet. Okay. It's already done. It's already done, chat. No stress. No worries. You know? Here we go.
Yes, as Marky's Nickel over on Twitch does confirm for us, there's a total quest count for all of the events, as we know, but then it appears
that the individual maps don't have quests. Yeah,
right.
I'm seeing that. I sort of noticed that myself because I've got, you got the 180 on the one, and I'm sort of a weird, like almost analytically sequential sort of person. So if I didn't do all the quests on one, I might go like, all right, nope, not doing it. Not doing the second one, right? And I think Alex is kind of that person, maybe on a much higher level than I am, where he must complete a task. What's your download speed, Mr. Selective? I have a gig service up and down. So real quick, fiber service. I'd go faster. I'll tell you that. I'll go faster. I'm a nerd, dude. I'll pay more for going faster. If it was available, I'll do it.
For sure. And Backspace over on YouTube. Good morning, Backspace. Question from the landowners chat. Can you get the premium lands and a regular land, put them together into an estate? Or an estate has to be the same type of land?
So the thing that makes a premium land premium is essentially the bundle of stuff that it comes with. It is on its own a land. So you can absolutely, if you own 2 adjacent pieces, you can absolutely make them an estate. And by that I mean, you can't make, at this time, one image that spans the 2 plots, but you may be able to do so in the future. Right now, they'll look like 2 different things, but they will be able to work together. So if they were left to right, then, oh, what happened? What happened, bro? What happened? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me,
I'm
bro?
believing you.
It was like, nah, dude, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's not. Okay, so yeah, if they're left to right, then you need to make sure when you design an experience in the Game Maker that you design them left to right. Yasanowski? No way, bro. Let me check it out. I'll check it out. I'm going to check it out right after the show. Let me get a note on that. I swear you are on the list. Maybe they have not been.
See it right here. It has been sent out.
Go
ahead and send me a DM there, Yasanowski at RadCondad, and we'll try and get it sorted for you.
All right. What? All right, chat. What's going on here? What's really going on here? I might need to reinstall / delete my cache here. I'm gonna do it live. This PC.
Little Hill says Alpha.
No, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna.
We do it live here, chat, as we're trying to make sure that the game is everything you guys want it to be.
I swear I'm gonna just delete the whole thing. I'm deleting the whole user data folder. Bye.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure that'll work. Chat. This is why generally the thinking person would have installed this beforehand and turned it on. Conrad and I were literally just BSing about life and stuff before the show for like 5-10 minutes.
We thought we had 10 minutes to spare. We were good to go.
Easiest game of my life. No big deal.
Now, Spret over on YouTube is having trouble with his avatar. He changed it for an event and can't seem to change it back. Now, I've had that happen to me before, and as Atom Molecule suggests, don't have multiple Sandbox web browsers open at the same time while you're trying to change that avatar. Sometimes they conflict for some reason.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the avatar.
Let us know.
On the avatar page itself, it's generally gonna turn over as long as you're logged in with your wallet, so that it can check which wallet like assets you might have. I love this, Hill. I'm with you 100% right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
It could also be Spret. That didn't work. Unfortunate. It could also be that the website itself is getting a lot of traffic this morning, so it may be just having a little bit of a chug on trying to update.
All right.
So just give us some time. We'll get it back to your favorite avatar.
All right. You can do it. You can do it. You can do this. You can do this.
Also, chat. What's going on with my Homelander hair today?
You can do this.
I'm coming straight out of the boys right now.
Conrad, you put a link to the chat earlier for a giveaway. Would you mind closing that?
I already did, and I already have my winner.
All right, who's that winner? As we're on the struggle bus right now.
Congratulations over on Twitch to Blue Tulip with the correct answer to 23 plus 27 plus 231 minus 421. The answer is a trick question. Just type holiday. You typed no holidays in Cambodia.
Ooh.
So happy holidays next month or the month after. I didn't know that. I had to look it up because I was curious. And sure enough, no holidays in Cambodia in December.
I thought that was a reference to the song "There's a Holiday in Cambodia."
Hey, okay.
Don't sing it. You can't do it. You'll get struck. We'll get struck.
But congratulations. I believe we're going to be doing another giveaway here towards the tail end of the stream, as we have an extra hat to give out because we didn't give one on Saturday. And unfortunately, Joe and I were sick on Monday and Tuesday. But congratulations, Blue Tulip.
On Saturday? We didn't give one on Saturday? We took over Alex's show. No giveaways, chat. Just do another one. Just do another one right now. Just do one right now. Okay. All right. Bro. Let me tell you a secret. Tell you a secret, okay? You ready? That was it.
That wasn't words. You didn't say words.
I'm being dumb, Conrad. I'm being dumb because I'm seeing this. I'm working with what I got right now. Okay, working with what I got. What's everybody doing? What's everybody doing this month? My wife is now off work. Bro, you're killing me, Smalls. I just want to play a video game, chat. What's up, OG Shakespeare? Swear to God, I'm gonna go.
Game Studios is joining us.
Swear to God, maybe I should just go play their game. Let's go play their game. What do you think about that? Just throw it out, bro.
I think that would be something to do here.
Let's just throw it out.
I was going to inform Hen Games that we plan on doing an evening stream so they can actually check it out, because I know that I believe they are on that other side of the world from us, so it'd be a bit easier for them to tune in. But if they're joining us now, let's go check it out.
Why not? Why not? Play V's game.
Play V's game as well.
I see it. All right. So we got that would give us three. That would give us three games. Crystal Miner from Endgame Studios. Last time I checked, that was on like page 50. So hopefully it's still around there. I'll start at 40. We'll take it slow. We're gonna find it. Gonna get in here. What up? Where's your game at?
And I just sent out
there it is.
Link ending in NQ6.
Didn't we play this live? I feel like we did play this one live. Am I wrong? Did I play it privately?
You might have played it separately.
I don't know. I feel like we played this live, but we'll go ahead and play it live again. Since we go in, Atari Game Jam, Crystal Miner. This one was made by Hen Game Studios, and they've asked us to play it live and give some feedback on that. So we'll go for it. The first thing that we want to mention is that any of these Atari Game Jam games that were created had one rule, and it should be essentially a mashup of two other Atari games. All right. There was a bug in the system and my games got mixed up. Fix the bug by completing missions. No big deal. I did say fix the bug by completing missions. Atari is talking to you. So I like that. But in order to make it a little more thematic, a little more clear that it's not the developer talking to the gamer, you might like put at the beginning something crazy like beep boop, just to like make you think that, hey, there's a robot going on. So as we walk through,
Atari.
Got a decent. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing as we come in, we get decent effects as these replace themselves with the sort of like breakout. They're doing the color change. But as we come up here, you'll notice that like the easy move to the left isn't really possible. The easy move to the right isn't really possible. I do have to actively jump off of the ladder in order to get up here. So I'd like to see something in terms of like small details that are going to make a game good. There should be as little friction as possible to something that has no like consequence. There's no negatives to having somebody be able to walk up there smoothly. And then the radius for activating these platforms is probably set right in the middle of the platform, if I was to guess. Set it up just slightly, just a little bit more vertical, because you want them to work when you stand on them and not necessarily to work when I jump up, based on the way this is designed. And then they will activate more consistently. As I ran across there, a couple of them didn't light up.
You want it to where it catches the player. So even if they did, jump past it, there might be a tip of the foot that'll still activate it, but not where they can completely skip it.
All right, here we go. So we jumped over here. Yeah, thanks. Video gaming. And I got to go back to that. So I'm going to do... Oh, nope. Thought I could be sneaky. Can't do it. No sneak. All right, got them all. And there was a small amount of difficulty that I'm okay with. I like seeing it not be super easy. Oh, yeah. Complete level 2. I gotta know where level 2 is.
I do wish that there was an easier way to get back to the top once we've completed it.
Right. And if the doorway is going to be here, then some kind of like elevator or something that could get spawned to bring you up to here more simply, or a ladder gets spawned
on the bottom, maybe. That way, they respawn in front of the door after they touch that bottom area where it's all red.
Yeah, that's true too. If kills aren't essential, or deaths rather aren't essential to the gameplay, it doesn't affect your gameplay negatively, then what Conrad's talking about is a simple teleport mechanic where you have an asset that kills the character. Your respawn time is set to -2 seconds, so you don't see the death animation. They just respawn up here on a spawner that would have been created by grabbing the last crystal. You have to be careful if you do something like that, though, just to be clear, because if you do sort of improperly spawn them based off of grabbing a particular crystal or a certain proximity to a certain thing instead of the completion of the quest as the trigger, then what would happen is that a user might be able to manipulate that to push themselves through the game faster than they should. So take a little bit of care if you were to take that into effect going through your plan. Okay, so here we go. We're in another space here. We've got clearly that's going to be the forward. Now we're in a bit of an isometric 3D look, which I like.
I love this section playing through. This is very beautifully done. You have the angle perfect. It's isometric in all the right ways, and it creates for some really excellent platforming. It reminds me of playing games on Sega Saturn, all of those classic Pac-Man style games, Pac-Man 3D, literally. So there's monsters that we got to take care of.
Right. Okay. So
to destroy the monsters.
Yeah, I got very confused by that personally. And I don't know if you agree with this, but you destroy the monster by what? Oh, I just walked through the other one and it just got destroyed. So I would consider that a polish issue.
I'm quite confused on how you did that, because on my playthrough I did have to beat them up. But that was one of my gripes as well. Was the monsters? Well, they need to be hit more than once. They're more of a nuisance, right? Which, as they should be, they're monsters. But you don't want to have the player really stop in their flow, right. Especially in a game concentrated on collection.
Sure. And yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Like if the monsters aren't going to have if they're not a real threat, if they can't damage you and you're not going to respawn, then why make them super strong, right? If they can damage you, then their strength might matter, and then it's like a little bit more skill-based play.
Fight, right?
Yeah, and then this zone did sort of the same thing in terms of like flow, that we went down in a spiral to the bottom, and then we had to go back up to the top at the end, whereas you could have possibly made it so that you get the last asset and there's a button or something that's like zone 3 or something, and it spawns you up here again.
Zone 3.
That would make the gameplay very fast, but at the same time, there are ways where you could slow it down or give a player a better sense of accomplishment as well. So as we think about like moving from zone to zone, and you think about moving from zone 1 to zone 2, we've completed it. We've grabbed all the crystals. If you did a spawner situation where it brings you up to the top because you're at the bottom or something like that, then you could, when you get within proximity of this doorway here, like here in front of the arrow or something, have a text box pop up that is Atari talking to you again, that you have to like go through the prompt to say
narrative going.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've asked you to help them with the crystals. They've asked you to help them with the monsters or whatever. So how are we helping the Atari get, lack its glitches as we continue through here? And once that narrative beat continues, then I think it gets a little bit more fun. And then another thing that I'm noticing here, not huge, but you see how these blocks, once they become lit,
once they clamber.
Yeah, once they become lit, you can walk up them. But when they are not lit, your character gets stuck. And like it's another sort of flow situation. So the white bar is the tell. Yeah. The white bar
was because it was a fake.
Right. That's
why you couldn't clamber it.
Well, let's see here. Oh, darn it. Okay. Nope. Yeah. Unless this one's a fake, which it's not.
Nope.
So you can't clamber over the green blocks unless they are, yeah,
the same
unless,
color.
right.
The same shade of green there.
And then I guess I'd have a question as to whether this one is fake. So the dev could tell me, yeah, okay, it was destroyed when it collided with the enemy, but here we placed monsters 1 hour before training the, yeah. And so that's...
As a reminder to chat, these games were part of a game jam, and so they were done relatively quickly. So our devs are competing against other devs that are trying to complete games with certain criteria in a very short amount of time, and there is full credit to them for how awesome and amazing work they've done throughout. And this is just one of those examples. And we're trying to critique it in a matter of getting it to that next level to where if they wanted to publish this game on a land, they could really go somewhere with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, when you're in these game jams, you know, you want to talk about what can take it to that winning level. And typically, an experience that wins is good enough or very close to good enough that it could be in the metaverse right now and probably generate some pretty good traction, you know, get some players, get some revenue out of it, that sort of thing. Obviously, winning the game jam means something, you know, getting just in the top 10 at all. It's a nice prize for you for having created it. But yeah, that's the critique on this show is always about how can we make the product better, even if it is something that seems like it's completely finished. We've had situations even when things are already in the metaverse in a season, and we've played it on the show and gone like, well, you know, you could have probably done this better, right? Because a lot of devs, they make their product in this closed bubble. They make this experience in a confined with their team or with their individual self. In that space. And so they don't necessarily see the user flaws that I might run into as a user as I'm literally walking, because maybe the way that you play as a dev, you're always jumping like this and you're not thinking about like, oh, well, if I walk into the edge of a thing, do I continue to walk? Like when I look at this door frame here, it's open and it's not much, but that little hole right here, I would make sure that wasn't here. When you had it blow up, in this particular case, you had that door frame there. It's almost nothing, but what happens there is, let's say that somebody else made an experience that was similar to this, or somebody else made an experience that was really darn good, and you guys were both like 5-star games out of 5, right? If you're perfect games, then I would think about coming back into this little hole here could be the difference between is that first place and second place, right? And so these are the kinds of critiques that we're going to give. Now, once again, I think it steps up, it steps out a little bit in a good way. If where you get to these red arrows, you know there's a narrative beat here. This could have been the third opportunity for something typed up really quickly that says like, oh, good, stage 4 of my functionality is like, whatever, it's going well. Of course, you want to think about it just a little bit, but just a little something to say, I am making progress for the Atari that is damaged would be good for your experience. And we're coming back in here. We've got another beautiful little isometric experience. Once again, I like this. I love the way that it looks, really. Okay, we're going to beat up this little squid dude. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to grab the crystals. The way that you've designed this isometric space, I think it's interesting that you've really designed it with perfect angular momentum to say, like, if I press down or like S and D at the same time, I will move exactly down the center of this. And I love that because I don't want to see that weird, like, you know, having to do whatever to get all my components. I like what you're doing here with respect to that. Coming back to the middle, the flow here in this, not a problem per se. Let me see. Okay, I've got the, but I am noticing that I have to go back to the center a lot, which is okay. That's fine. But if the monsters had difficulty, then your pathing wouldn't have to have difficulty. if the monsters that you have inside this isometric space dealt damage or were a threat in any way, then the path wouldn't have to have been designed to be slightly maze-like. But that said, not a problem. It's okay. What I probably would have done here is your path onto this section. As I'm kind of running up, I'm trying to remember where it was. And you see how when it's in the fog, it's sort of hard to see. Not difficult per se, but like a little white outline coming into this to show like, hey, you go down this way, would be helpful to come back out just to kind of, again, keep like, I want the flow to be, for lack of a better term, like brain dead. I want to be able to just be in here and be having fun without having to ask questions to the process. Okay, so now we've come to the edge of the map. There was no...
The more I think on it, Joe, just simply having a just like a beam of light that just goes like just pointing down next stage or something like that above it.
Yeah.
Just so the player can walk to it and go ahead and have it be boop boop and give you that quick kill teleport to go back to the beginning there to get on to the next one. So you get that respawn point, push forward each time.
Yeah,
I think that would be absolutely a really easy way to convey that without trying to make it too complicated.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you could do that where you're like, okay, I've completed this challenge now, and I'm going to respawn. I'm going to go click from here to there, as you said, with that beam of light. I kind of felt the same way about what happened at the end of the path there. I don't know if you noticed, but we got to the end of the path, and you sort of just hit nothing. Like the wall, and then it teleported you here. So they understand the teleport mechanic. But I would have made the wall have some sort of, like you said, that glowing effect or whatever. To maybe a door, so it looks like I'm portaling to this other area, or like I'm progressing from space to space. But I think it's good. It's good for what it is, and like aesthetically kind of great. It really embodies what Atari is and has been for, decades.
Especially the two games that are the subject for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this section here, what I really appreciate about this, and it's kind of hard to tell as like a general consumer, I think, but there's a lot of invisible walls, and only seemingly in the right places. Like I can't fall off into void areas. So I'm imagining that you probably spent a ton of time on these 3D areas and not so much time on the 2D spaces, right? Because all of the HEN here, as you kind of wrote hen game into the space, I can appreciate that as well. You're sort of promoting your experience, but I can't fall off a cliff here. I don't need to respawn, but I can go like here down into the N where it wouldn't cost me my life. I can jump off. So I really like that. Right. And I think he did great here.
And also, again, Hen Games, your devs, play off of your skill with the isometric abilities here, because this is awesome. Like, just throughout each one of the zones that are in this style, you have it mastered already. I definitely would play off of that skill going forward, because it reminds me of like an MC Escher, right? The stairs going everywhere, but at the same time, it's still easy to read where to go, where you can go.
Right. Yeah, and I think another thing that's sort of happening here that I would probably change is that it seems like each one of these objects that I'm picking up for the collections, it seems to me like those objects have collision on, but as I go through them, I pick them up. And so you're seeing the character kind of hop each time I go to grab those. So I would make sure that the assets have no collision, and the thing that you collect is actually invisible inside it, or something to that effect, where you don't have collision on these assets, so you won't hop. You'll still be able to collect the thing where it says collect crystals. And it'll make those disappear. It takes a little bit more work, but see that nitpicking, right? Nitpicking, and
you can miss some.
Right. Okay. I feel conflicted, Conrad. I feel conflicted because in a traditional open world, you're not
If
sort of
it
forced
wasn't
down this path.
if it wasn't the primary objective, which in my opinion, a collection quest should never be the primary objective, but for the subject of the game matter, which was the Crystal Castles and adventure games and those classic Atari games that were available to the Game Jam,
Yeah.
um, it was to be the primary subject, which was collection.
Right.
So because we had to get 100% for each stage going forward, there shouldn't have been any extra for the end here.
I
We
agree.
had to
Yes.
had to have 100% before.
Yeah, and I think that it takes away from that sort of. So when we get to the end of your game, typically what you want to do, you've got 4 stages, and typically each one of those stages should slightly ramp up the difficulty as you go, right? And in this very last portion of the experience, you had a really cool thing going on where you leveraged the isometric space behind and under, right where the victory screen is, right here, that little doorway there. You could have gone in and up that doorway to collect a couple more crystals there, or you could have come down from the top and back. And as Ipek Kochek says over on YouTube, they're saying it's a bit anticlimactic to a player who likes to complete everything. And I agree with that because I'm not necessarily the person who wants to get 100%. If it was an open world adventure, I think you did it right. You left about 10% more crystals than you need. But this is a very closed world, and it's very clear to see that there's more to complete, and we've got a victory screen here. So I think for the very end here, it's okay to say you got to catch them all. You got to go get them all. And then they're in here. It's a little bit more difficulty. It's really not much more difficulty at the very end because then it starts to get a little bit puzzly. And, to play off what Conrad said, where the isometric work that you're doing is fantastic. When you make an isometric puzzle, the whole gimmick is always that there's hidden things that are behind where you can't see, right?
So Hen Games, I would like you to go look at a 1996 game called Mario RPG. It is something that has kind of fallen to the wayside as far as a lot of classic Mario fans go because it is an RPG, but it really plays on that isometric stylizing. And there is a maze specifically towards the end of the game that I am thinking of that I would like to see inspiration taken from, where they really play on the sort of ability to go up and down and around using this exact camera angle and the skills that you guys already have.
Yeah.
So I would like to see you as a studio continue to use this asset that you have, which is this really talented level design.
And so let's talk about if you were to go down the isometric route, if you were to really hone in on this, right? Some ways that you can do that, you can make a puzzle and you can make it so that people can learn your puzzle before they get to the hard version. So sometimes having things hidden behind.
Teach your players the mechanics before throwing them into the deep end, but make sure that there is a deep end.
Right. So if we had, let's imagine that this wall, that we're pretending like there is a wall here on the forward sides, the lower left wall here and the lower right wall here. If there was a pretend wall there, you could float assets on this pretend wall, such as, I'm thinking out loud here, a laser. So if you would put a laser right above your letter E on this lower left wall that's invisible, the wall is invisible, but you can see the laser, and the laser points at the wall. The laser goes through a hole in the wall, and on the back side of the wall, your character can jump through the hole. Then that would be a way where you could indicate, hey, there's going to be some crystals in here without a user knowing exactly how to get into there, and they could learn how to get into there, right? So the first way that you do it is on level 1 or something. You show that little laser on your isometric that goes into the wall, and there's a staircase on the front side of the wall. So you know if you go in there, you get some crystals. And you can see the crystal inside the hole the first time you do it. The second time you do it, you've got the laser going into the wall and the staircase is on the front side, but you can't see the crystal. And you go inside the hole and you get the crystal. The third time you do it, you have the laser going into the wall, and on the back side of the wall is the stairs, and you can't see the crystal. And that is how you ramp difficulty while also teaching your player how to play your game and seeing the puzzle of it, right? And then maybe in the fourth section, you have the same laser, but there's no beam of laser coming out of it. Just the object that would have normally cast a laser is sitting there. There's a hole in the wall. The stairs are on the backside. So now your gamer has to go, wait, I remember that this laser used to lead to a crystal, and the crystals can be harder this way. So you think about...
at the same time, when you start thinking of these gameplay elements, I mean, right away my mind thought like, oh, Joe has this crystal with a laser idea, and now the crystal is deactivated. Rope it into your narrative.
Right.
Get your player more engaged with that.
Absolutely. And, if we're still talking about the Atari being damaged, right? You come into this area, maybe those lasers are the thing that is damaging the Atari. And they could be a narrative beat where you go like, oh, cool. The Atari, as you come into section 4, says like, it seems like you've disabled the lasers and I'm operating at 100% or like 99% or something, right? Like operating at 99%. Collect the last crystals or last computer chips or last components for me, and we'll be all ready to go. And then you do collect all the crystals, and once you collect all the crystals, it doesn't immediately go to victory screen. It pops up a piece of narrative that's like, you did it, you helped me, now we can go play this game. And
advertisement.
It's an advertisement for you, absolutely, because it's another game that we can play on the Atari. But like, hey, you want to play another Atari game? Plug in on coordinates this for Hen Game Studios game number whatever.
Or not even necessarily Atari. Throw in your own name there.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you saved Hen Game Studios. Like, you want to play another Hen Game Studios game? Check it out.
Yeah.
We got the links for you.
Exactly, because you've made it, now you've drawn it into the narrative, and it doesn't really seem like a plug, but it's also like an ad for you. And so you've got lots of possibilities, I think. But, to the root of it, clearly this is, the advantage of this game and what got you into the top 10 is that I wasn't running into glitches and problems, right? I can play through this, a bunch of times, and there's only just like little things. Nothing huge that got in my way, but a better narrative would have helped it stand out, and then a more serious ramp of a difficulty would have helped it stand out. Whether you made it more puzzle-like or you made it with enemies that could hurt me, both of those would have been good. But I think once again, fantastic game, and you've done a great job of leveraging the lighting and the aesthetic of the space for what it is, to make a great isometric game. And I think if you guys focused on that as Hen Games, I think Conrad agrees with this, focusing on an isometric experience, you could be the definitive isometric game created studio based on what I see here. For me.
Look at inspiration, from all those classic 90s games, because, as people say, history is doomed to repeat itself, but we can learn from it. So there's a lot of quality of life changes that have happened in the past 40 years of gaming that need to continue to be applied. So learn from your peers. Thank you so much for taking our criticism, and hopefully it doesn't go anywhere to heart, because we do mean it in a manner of a first player experience where we want you to be better. We want you to get that game to its maximum potential. So we see your improvement, Hen Games. We see it.
All right, what do we got here? We got a WMG Game Jam submission that was sent to us by Life Made Me Paul just a couple days back here. And I'd like to get into that. It was Final Song is the name of it. Here we go. All right, this is WMG Final Song. Follow the music. Yours truly, Freya. That's what it says here. So we'll see what this is. Yes.
We did have a question from Mr. Selective.
Okay.
Asking, what was our favorite game jam so far? Ooh, we've fallen down into it.
Okay, so we fell into the experience. It says, what a strange dream. What's my favorite game jam so far? been a lot.
There's been a lot of game jams.
I've been around for every one of them.
There's a lot more to come to. Yeah. So I already got my answer.
All right, what do you got? I'm still thinking.
So I had a soft spot for the Ragnarok game jam, and all of those games were phenomenal. All the people that made stuff for that were just great. Pixel artists really coming through. But honestly, my favorite was the Pororo game jam. The amount of work that people did for that one and the creativity with the game stylizing and how they brought Pororo into, a narrative was very creative. And also, I did an 8-hour live stream with folks to play all those games, and that was a lot of fun.
Okay. So I liked the Pororo stuff. I thought those were really good. I also appreciated the Ragnarok game jam, but I think my favorite is a little bit older. And that is the Alpha Season 2 game jam. The game jam that allowed for experiences that were, even in Season 3, in the top right of the map. Those experiences, super strong narrative beats were put into those experiences. I saw really good gameplay. Like, I still reference one of those games. It's just like, if you just want to have fun, go play and I forget the name of it. You jump through a bunch of shapes like a Japanese game show, while also standing on particularly colored blocks. Somebody in the chat's going to know this better than me. And, like Dragon Rock was a fantastic experience there. D-Electronics snuck one through. I'm going to call you out a little bit on this one, D-Electronics. I still feel personally like that game needed to be completely reskinned in order to make it into the season, but you did it, and it stayed. All right. I saw you in the chat earlier. Hopefully you're still with us. I'm just poking a little fun at you.
We doing some pack sand?
Yeah, the pack sand got through on that one. I laughed a little bit because it's a well done Pac-Man knockoff, you know what I mean? But it's a little too close for me, a little too close for Joe. Okay, but I wasn't the final decision maker there, so we had fun with that. Okay,
so yes, Sparky, we are aware of the Meta Robot being invulnerable. We are going to pass that along. Hopefully, that gets fixed by the end of the day. We were trying to go show it, but unfortunately, we couldn't get there.
All right, we're choosing a soundtrack. Which one?
I'm Gucci.
Confirm this track. Yes.
That's a nice touch. You got to turn up the volume now.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I got to check now. What? What happened? No. I did. I crashed it. Hey, look, I'm playing RuneScape, ladies and gentlemen. Just kidding.
Wrong live stream.
You can't live stream that game, bro. It's so boring. Are you kidding me? It's like, I'm clicking on a leaf.
Chat, this is an excellent lesson right now that Joe unintentionally did. There is an audience for everything. If you think at any point that there is somebody in the world that would not enjoy something, it doesn't matter what it is, there is somebody that will enjoy your content regardless of what you are doing.
I feel like I went too far. Final song. So the whole point, the reason, chat, why I wanted to restart right there is I actually wanted to know if they were different songs. All right?
Yeah. Oh, it died again. We're doing it live, chat.
I swear to.
Also, how many of you in the chat are surprised that our favorite game jams wasn't the GMAE game jam?
First of all, some of those experiences were great. All right.
Oh, yeah.
There are even people watching other people sleeping. Yeah, but that's some creep stuff, bro. That's some crazy stuff. I don't know about all that. I can't do that. Can't do that in my life.
I mean, what if there's a ghost that shows up? You got to find out. You got to help this. We got to help these people out. They're not watching themselves sleep.
Chat.
I'm
dying over here. I'm dying over here. Conrad, you want to do me a favor and give away some more stuff?
I already have another winner
All right, what do we got?
For the next Wizzy purple hat, which is what, Joe? What are we giving away right now?
Yeah, that was it. That was the purple.
Yeah, what is it?
Enhanced hat. Oh well, this you just want me to do the spiel, right? You want me to do the thing,
ahead,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta remind the good people.
You can wear this equipment inside any combat-based experience inside the Sandbox game or the Sandbox Game Maker. Giving it away officially only on this show. These Wizzy themed NFTs.
What they've won, Joe.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Curse Broadcast says Hen Game Studios for sure. You know what, Hen Game Studios? Your game gets extra points today because it's the only thing that actually is working.
Right.
Oh, I love it.
Alrighty. So our winner of the second hat given today is I'm gonna do my best here. So anything that has as wording that's not English, and most English I struggle with. Mascido or Mascia over on Twitch. Thank you so much. I said
chat. I'm gonna
no question. I just said thanks for joining us. It means a lot. And they replied with, "Are you ready, chat?"
Mosquito. What did they reply?
Gracias a todos vosotros.
Oh man, I should have read this one for sure.
They said, "Thanks to you all. This will go a long way." Of course, in their native language, I believe it's Spanish.
Yeah, that was Spanish. That was Spanish.
I do my best. Make fun of me. I accept it. Anything with any amount of spice in it, I struggle with. But congratulations. At least I try. That's my gimmick.
Here's the thing,
Thank
chat.
you so much, everybody.
Here's the thing. Here's what's going on. Here's what we're doing here. We're dying inside, all right? We're gonna die inside. Don't open Dead Inside right now. Are you kidding me, bro? Here's I'm gonna do a dead chat.
Alexa Bega, I think I said your name right over on Twitch. I am not gonna attempt to go again. I'm so bad at trying to speak any other language.
We're just gonna do this now. We're just gonna do this now.
Are we just chatting now?
Oh man. Oh my goodness, bro.
It seems like our game client is dying today.
I'm like, yep, there must be some serious updating, some serious changing. Something is happening. Something is happening here, all right? And I'm like, I'm out. For that reason, switch to just chatting.
Right.
How about a bean spilling stream instead? Let's see what I can spill. Let's see what beans I can spill. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of info.
Seb just tweeted out something interesting.
Okay.
Go ahead and go check that out.
Well, let me see. I'm not putting it on the screen, chat. I don't trust it. I'm just going to say it out loud. All right. Today we give a sneak peek to 200 plus builders ecosystem of the Sandbox's next Game Maker version. We got great feedback. 2023 will change the game. We love you, Sand Fam. This is with regards to the version 0.8 update that is coming soon.
Which has got a lot.
So much.
It's got a lot. And I don't even know everything.
There is a ton. All right, let me see here. Oh. New internal public release potentially for that 0.8 update. So here's a good thing that's coming, chat. If you are in that Game Makers Fund, you may have access to that 0.8 update early as we continue to get good feedback, because the 0.8 update includes new lighting engine. It includes new movement / stealth mechanics. It includes swimming. Includes a complete rework of all of the mechanics. Like all of the core functionalities that are already in the Game Maker have been recoded to be more efficient in terms of like load on your PC. So it should be increasing in optimization. When I was in a meeting, I don't know, I guess it was early in this month, like on the 6th or the 7th, something like that. We're in a meeting, and Arthur Madrid, he is the CEO of the Sandbox game. Somebody that you very rarely would see their face, except maybe on social media, you know, if you're following them. They had talked about how the main goal for 2023 will be less so the like addition of new functions and more so the optimization of the functions as they exist now as we start to target releasing on mobile. We want to make sure that it works better and faster, more so than saying adding a bunch of different functionalities in the space. I guess one of the things I left out of that 0.8 update is the functionality of live streams in the game, as well as pre-recorded video in the game. Audio, same thing, both of those functionalities. So these are huge for groups like Snoop Dogg's and DJ, you know, Steve Aoki, DJ Blondish, whatever, that want to put their stuff in there. All of the Warner Media Group, you know, if they can host a concert or a live event that's exclusively in the metaverse, then that's going to be like massive for their lands wherever they are. So really you've got a whole bunch of stuff that's happening to the 0.8 update that is a significant swing in the way that it works. And then from there, we're going to work heavily on in the coming year, just refining that into a more optimized and less new features, more optimization features for one update to the next. Another update, if you missed it, I talked about it a couple of shows back. I was talking to the CTO, and by that I mean we were in that exact same chat talking about everything that's coming in the future year. I was talking to the chief technical officer of the company, and I said, hey, you know, it'd be really nice if when a new version of the game came out, we did not have to download it separately as a .exe file, but rather if it could be in a game client. And he said, hey, we're already doing that. We're doing that right now. So that's really good news because that means they're ahead of the curve. And, you know, speaking in that same sort of breath, I said, like, cool, because right now it would be nice if an installation automatically cleared out the temporary cached files from the previous installation so that you don't run into things where potentially you've got this crashing and you've got this whatever. So I think we're going to see more and more features like that are going to be core just to like the consistent, you know, meeting expectations of the gameplay. Because even if, as you've seen sort of on this show right now, as I'm playing through, you know, I just try to open Life Made Me Paul's experience. The first time it was like, yeah, it's fine. The second time it's like crash, crash, crash. And so we want to focus on refining the tool as it is to make it so that it is more consistent and having a better experience, I think.
Right. We get some optimization and some quality of life going. That way that we can, you know, come out of alpha with all these tools already done and done proper. Right.
And that's the thing. I think if I loaded, when it comes to the bumps in the road, like I guess those two ideas sort of track. Like there may be increased crashing right now if the team is testing the functionalities of 0.8 and the changes to all of the functions themselves. So like this idea that you load the game and the if-thens or whatever that you've programmed into your game, now that function has changed, the way that the code works has changed in 0.8, then when it loads now, it may cause some increased crashing up front. Because what will happen is if you take your experience that you designed in the 0.7.x updates and you load it in the Game Maker 0.8x, that Game Maker is going to erase and rewrite all of your functions in the new version. So it'll require a little bit of testing on your part, but it should, you know, on the short term, it's going to probably cause a little bit more crashing. But once we actually get 0.8 released to public, it'll have that fully optimized, right? And be more efficient and more effective. And so I think you're seeing some really good stuff out of this, even if there is that short-term hiccup. Now, as somebody who wants to get involved in the 300,000 sand total prizes out there, basically going to kind of be working through the pain a little bit as I play these games, but at the same time, that's the nature of the alpha, right? It's the seeing a thing, reporting, hey, this happened, and then those reports go back to the dev team, and the dev team says, okay, yeah, we understand why this is happening, and they issue a hotfix or something like that server side, or they just stop working on the 0.8 things and turn back on the 0.7 functionalities or whatever once they log out for the day. Generally, my time right now is 10:17 a.m., right? Generally, the team will be done working on stuff around 1:30 p.m. my local time. So like 3 hours from now or thereabouts, right? And at that point, I've generally found that it's been easier to play experiences at that time. But there's a lot of stuff. Mr. Selective has some interesting suggestions here that I can't talk about, but also I'm going to bring them up because it's fun. If that says something. Personally, I'd like to see a driving option, currency logic, RNG logic, leaderboard logic, and beyond those things, online PvP mode, capture mode, deathmatch mode, and these stuffs. Can't wait to see them. So I think in terms of functionality for what you call capture mode, I assume you mean something like capture the flag in a traditional shooter, like a 2000s shooter. I'm pretty sure you could do that already. Because
I think what they mean is more like a camera mode, right?
Maybe be interested, like to know the difference, because that would be significantly different than what I'm thinking. But I think the capture the flag would be perfectly possible as long as you can have objects that both parties can interact with and not simultaneously. That said, you also need the mechanic where a person could hurt a person, and that's where online PvP mode kind of comes into play. But I think, yeah, these are all ideas that we firmly also agree with. And that capture the flag and PvP sort of situation, the deathmatch situation, that is sort of PvP. Those are things that we are working towards and really aren't all that far away. But it depends on, your scope of what is far away. Right, because any game that is sufficiently innovative takes 5 to 7 years to really develop, right? And we're 2 or 3-ish years into development now, and we've made some significant strides. I would say boldly that we're probably the leader in the metaverse. In terms of can anybody pick it up, make it, play with it, etc. And these pre-built logics are things that we are working on. In terms of driving, I think that's something that is also in the pipeline, but not a priority at this time. And it may be possible simply from being a little bit hacky with the way that you build your experience. Once you have PvP, collision with each other, you may be able to build a car, as many users have built cars in VoxEdit already, and then override your main character with that car, and do the same thing with multiple users, where all users get overridden with a car. Doing that, if I'm thinking about the very early levels of that tool, everybody might look like the same car, but you could make that happen with relatively low friction in the future. Currency logic, I don't know that one, aside from actually cryptocurrency, is going to be a thing, but could be a thing, and technically can be a thing now in your experience. You can make currency logics work. We've seen lots of people who make games that have a high score ticker. So there's no reason why you can't take that high score mechanic. And if you don't know how to make it, go look it up. Some tutorials from some people. Maybe Cyber Dragon or a Half Dork or V has created a tutorial about that. I'm not sure off the top of my head who would have done it. But if you have a high score ticker, then you could just take those principles and apply them in reverse. I'm going to spend them with a vendor. If I have this many total points, I could spend them with a vendor down to get this shield. So the currency is already possible. It just requires a logic mechanic that you have to build. RNG is already also possible. It's not a very straightforward system, but we've seen lots of really cool RNG mechanics that are getting increasingly more effective. I saw Cyber Dragon released a tutorial that was like a dice tutorial. So that's a very interesting one. If you don't already know, go look at that. But leaderboards do exist in the Sandbox game and may be able to be applied to individual groups or sectors, but we're not that far yet. So I think these are all really, really good ideas from Mr. Selective and ideas that have been kind of explored by the community for a while. So I think that's gonna be fun to see. Yes, and that's the thing, right? Where they're giving the feedback here live here. It's possible to create a currency mechanic, but they want developers to be able to add more behavior and components so people can more easily use them. And I agree with that. Like, there's a certain
more
level
quality
where,
of life, again, to the development stage, right?
Yeah, it's seeing if we can see that people are very often wanting to make RNG mechanics. Can we make it a tool that's already built into, the game maker?
Make it a preset, right?
As a preset that you can just tick a box and say, I want this thing to RNG between here and here when you click this, or whatever. So yeah, I think because it is difficult to create using the sort of like calculators, as most people use calculators, small objects hidden under the ground that move. But I think we're getting that. Yeah. So we've got a lot of interesting stuff here. Conrad, did you ever draw from that other giveaway that we did there?
Yeah, we did too.
All right, you want to do one more?
Remember,
the last 5 minutes?
I shamefully spoke some Spanish, which I picked.
Oh,
reminds me that I shouldn't be shamed for my attempt, which I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm always going to try, but I am going to excuse myself each time.
All right.
You're going to do one more?
Let's do one more. I want to do one more, and then we'll close it out here on the show. And we're going to end up rating somebody right after this one. If anybody is creating inside.
Every Wednesday, I want to go to Sandstorm.
All right. Well, what do they got? Let me take a look. Let me go to twitch.tv and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to find somebody who is currently streaming the Sandbox game, and the Sandstorm meetup currently is live with Game Dizzy doing his thing in the chat. So we'll raid them up here in a bit. And I got it queued up. You getting another one? You got that another one?
Another one. Getting another one done up right now.
Get one more giveaway for the Santa themed NFT. Excuse me. No. Wait. That was wrong. Wait, was it wrong?
Yes, it was. Wait. What are you thinking? What are you cooking right now, Joe? Joe, it's not the day yet.
It was supposed to be for charity.
It's still going to be for charity. Don't do it. How dare you?
I want to do it.
Well, then we'll do it. Then we do it Friday.
You want to do it Friday?
Then we do it Friday. Because then it'll be the weekend that everybody goes into Christmas. We got Christmas on Sunday.
All right,
for
chat.
those of you that celebrate.
Get hype. On Friday, we'll give away a Santa Wizzy NFT that we only gave away in 2020. When my Santa Wizzy Hill, I need to send those out. Literally, actually, I have DMs on Twitch where I was like, yeah, I need to send those out, and I've been a degenerate and not doing it. But we'll give away one Santa Wizzy on Friday. That was only given away to people who were joining us live on twitch.tv in 2020. Super rare.
Like 10 of them.
I literally only have like 6 left that exist. So we'll give away one of those. That is an NFT that can be used in your game as an NPC or anything else that you want in your experience, and gives you certain special access to some things in the future.
Well, here is a link to a Wizzy-themed NFT, but this is the purple enhanced hat go ahead and fill out that form real quick. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we got another question here from a Ninja Raccoon. I'm trying to join the Care Bears land now. It says I don't have access to this map, and I do have an NFT avatar.
Okay, yeah, I think right now at this moment, I believe there's some updates that are being applied because we have had some intermittent lag / crashing that have been happening on the game client. You've seen it here on this live show. Typically, the devs, when they're making these updates, are updating them between now and about 3 hours from now. So if that is the case, Care Bears is open to all, as Hodel Hill says. But you should be able to check it out. Just be patient a little bit with us as we are making a transition internally to try to apply the 0.8 updates for significant optimization. And as is the nature of an alpha, sometimes when these updates are being applied, whether they are server-side or local side, there can be some hitching and glitching. As we get further in development and new features aren't being applied, there'll be significantly less of those. And then when we get into beta, it's purely just patching out little glitches that might remain late in the development cycle. But we are still quite early in the sandbox game, and experience or a software like this typically takes between 5 and 7 years to develop. We are in year 3 now, or just about year 3. That sort of.
We're getting it.
Yeah.
Skyhand110 over on YouTube says, question, is the sandbox open to redesigning the current avatar template to something skinnier, almost skeletal, so that customization in wearables are more fitting or more form-fitting? I can speak, I swear. K-Verse showed us a few different NPC styles.
Avatars can really be whatever you want them to be for shape. As it is right now, my Care Bears avatar is a 1.5 meter tall character, shorter than all other assets. The CyberKong's VX are huge assets. And so what I would say is, in terms of like equipments, there's a certain market for you as a VoxEdit developer to make things that fit those sizes. So if you see somebody coming out and they say, I'm going to release this series of NFTs, you say, cool, I'm really glad that you're going to release that in order to be compatible with that. I want to make this equipment set to go with your stuff, and make a partnership deal in that way. And then everybody who has Care Bears who loves them, or everybody who has CyberKong's VX who loves them, now gets equipment that fits their stuff, and you're much more likely to fit that niche and fill in that box for them. But yeah. Ninja Raccoon, read the last section carefully. The last section is always...
This time, Joe, It was just a simple comment.
Oh, okay.
I didn't make it a trick question or anything.
Okay.
Want me to close that form down?
Yes, it just turned 10:30, our local time.
Okay. Alrighty. Hopefully you guys got into that one as we did that last giveaway. And as a reminder, this Friday we'll be giving away that Santa Wizzy in celebration of the holiday. It'll be the 23rd. Closing down responses now. But don't worry, there's plenty of opportunity to get these Santa-themed NFTs. Let me do my quick deduplication, and we'll give away our winner.
All right. He's doing the dedupe. Question comes in once again. The meta educator over on YouTube asking. We answered this just a bit ago, but said, is the Care Bears one actually supposed to be gated, or is that a mistake? It's supposed to be open to all at this time. But there may be minor issues with sort of access for any given experience, as there seems to be some updating going on live right now. Typically, those updates finish within about 3 hours from now, as the Paris team tends to finish their day. My time, 1:30 a.m. It's 10:30 a.m. or 1:30 p.m. Sorry, it's 10:30 a.m. my time at this time. No worries, meta educator. Don't worry. Questions are good. W. Caleb asks, when will the VoxEdit contest award be distributed? VoxEdit contest awards typically get distributed within like 2 to 4 weeks after their completion, so that it gives us sufficient time to vote as a whole staff on those things. But that sometimes that varies this way or that way, depending on the busyness of the staff who are in charge of distribution, because there are lots of different kinds of contests to be vetted for their validity. Also, W. Caleb, as it goes with what we saw at the end of the last season, we want to make sure that we don't have somebody submitting 3, 4, 5 different sorts of from 3 or 4 or 5 different accounts. We want to make sure that things are pretty legitimate or within the rules of the VoxEdit contest or where any of those contests may apply. And they have to be KYC verified. That sort of stuff all has to be in there. But nonetheless, distribution is, even if it's pushed back a little bit in terms of timeline, does still always go out to the community. So no worries. Happy solstice. You're right. Smokestone Media over on YouTube. This is for America and like the Northern Hemisphere. I just balled those all in together. I live in America, so I put that in. That's at the top.
Typical American.
Typical American, thinking they're the center of the world over here. What are you doing? Nah, this is the shortest day of the year. Longest day of the year for the world champion Argentinians. All right. Congratulations on that. Messi. I wish Mbappe would have won. Real talk.
I was on the other side.
I wanted to see Mbappe win. He's young, he's fresh, he's got style. All right. Messi's maybe the greatest of all time, but Mbappe needed that win, in my opinion. I don't know, but Messi deserved it, I guess. He's like, I'm retiring this year. What am I going to do? I'm going to score a goal in every single round of the World Cup and just walk off.
Okay, but the hat trick,
victory,
though.
All right. Yeah, that's a hat trick was good, bro. The hat trick, he got it. He got it with the hat trick. Caleb, talking about KYC. I'm talking about you have to, in order for us to issue awards to people, you have to be KYC verified in general.
Right.
Because it's illegal for us to issue rewards in many countries unless you're verified as you and a human. So,
but I do have our winner as we're shutting it down.
All right, what do we got?
And we're starting to get away from Sandbox and into some football. But otherwise, with our winner of the Wizzy-themed enhanced purple hat, there was no question this time. I was just reminding everybody that you are worth more than you know.
Oh.
And don't forget that feelings aren't final, everyone. Tomorrow is going to be another day, and you're going to get through it. It's going to get a little easier every single day that you try. Every single day that you wake up is a good day. And congratulations to, it's not really a name, but 0x000Z. They said, really? Whoever makes this forum, you're the first guy to talk to me like this. Well, don't worry.
Hey.
There's plenty of people here on the metaverse. There's plenty of positive people out there. And hopefully I'm not the last. So thanks for joining us and congratulations. Once again, my heart goes out to you, Sam Fam. Thanks for giving it back.
It's been our pleasure to hang out with you here today. Have some fun. We got to play through one experience. We got a little taste of Life Made Me Pause. We'll give it another shot here in a future stream. And I definitely want to go back and play through the experiences because there's 300,000 total sand prize pool up there right now in the contest section of Sandbox.game. So we'll be back. We'll play some more tomorrow. Have some fun. Hopefully be a little bit more stable, a little less talk show for you. But we will see you earlier than Friday, but also this Friday doing a Santa Wizzy giveaway because I feel like
Joe,
yes,
we're going to try and get back on our schedule as well. We're trying to not be sick and actually give our 5 days. So it's not every other day. We normally do 5 days a week, but we've been dying this holiday season.
It's the title of your game. Put it into the Rad Condad chat real quick.
Wizard Christmas. Or Wizard Christmas Tree, I believe.
Somebody put that in. Can you put it in GMAE show for me before the after this one?
We're gonna
this bad boy.
We're gonna play it.
We'll play through that as well.
Chat. Play V's game. But thank you so much, chat.
We'll see you soon. Play it out. Oh yeah, wait, hold up. Wait, hold up.
We gotta. Did you just fade us out and come back in?
You did fade us out. We gotta raid the Sandstorm meetup. We gotta raid the Sandstorm meetup.
You're so
raiding over on Twitch.tv. There you go.
I do read everybody. everybody's responses, by the way. And my heart goes out to you whom are struggling in another country. If you're not having a great holiday season, I really hope it gets better. Honestly.
This man's a treasure. Let's go raid. Let's go raid.
Get hype for Sandstorm.
Sandstorm over on twitch.tv. See you later, nerds.